Thank you for listening to REED-BBS.
REED-BBS. BBS. What we're not going to do is beat a dead horse. Haney versus Loma, the damage is done. The decision has been rendered. The verdict was read. That horse is dead. All the king's horses, all the king's men, Eagles Clemens, and his appeal be damned. It's time to move on. Devin Haney, undisputed lightweight champion. What next? What next? Paulie Malignaggi, the famed former fighter, champion, Showtime broadcaster, and racial pot stirrer, he revealed a couple days ago that 2 days prior to Haney versus Loma, Haney re-signed with Top Rank. It just has not been announced yet. But apparently Paulie got the scoop, passed the word. It's a tad surprising. I would have thought Dev would flex his free agency for a fight or two, but oh the hell well. So with that said, let's name names. Let's call spades spades. Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis. In Dev's own words, these are probably the only fights he'd remain at 35 for and then move up. Bottom line, Devin Haney can't beat Shakur Stevenson. He can't. He's like a Shakur Stevenson light, Ortho Shakur, Renner Shakur. They're just different levels of fighters. There's surface similarities, but yeah. And that's why it's somewhat surprising Dev is staying with Top Rank, allegedly. Dev knows he can't beat Shakur. Shakur knows Dev can't beat him. And as such, Shakur will have to be the last man standing to get that Devin Haney fight, I believe. Hell, in fact, I would predict Dev to fight Loma again. I think he would give Loma a rematch before he entertained fighting Shakur, which leaves Gervonta Tank Davis, who is technically across the street, as they say in promotional jargon. But on the heels of 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, $22.8 million live gate versus King Rye, shit. All this A-side, B-side, belts are good, but money talks. And per another report I just saw, Dev and Loma did around 275 to 300,000 buys, which is good in its own right. For Dev's first pay-per-view, that's damn good. That's not bad at all. You know, you break even at the 200,000 buys mark, from what I've always learned from the industry. So 275, 300K, that's a profit. Well done, but that ain't 1.2 million. That's the bottom line. With the Tank and Dev matchup, there's the Floyd factor. They both have relationships, like little bro relationships with Floyd, stemming back years. They actually met sparring each other at Floyd's gym. This was in 2015. Tank was 20 years old. Devin was 17. Tank was 11-0 as a pro. Dev had not yet turned professional. And as you can imagine, they both have differing views and versions of what went down. Truth be told, I beat the shit out of Tank, is what Dev said. I almost knocked him out in Floyd's gym. That's what Tank said. Tell Devin and his daddy to get off my dick. I'll let you figure out who said that one. But it was because, so read between the lines here. It was because of his sparring with Dev that Tank got signed by Floyd in the first place. And 18 months later, Gervonta Davis was a world champion. They actually sparred the same day Sean Porter fought Adrian Broner. And of course, I couldn't leave you hanging on the AB quote, because he was there for the sparring also. In a real fight with 8-ounce gloves, bye. That was Broner's comment. Jeff Mayweather, he was there. He says, the Dev we just saw versus Loma has no chance versus Tank. He would have to fight a perfect fight from a safe distance the entire fight. And I can't agree more with all of them, actually, but with Jeff Mayweather in particular. He can't beat Tank, man. He doesn't have the power to hold him off. And I won't say Dev's beard is shaky because he ain't even been dropped yet. But he gets unnerved a little bit, you know, when he gets hit. Well, Tank can do more than unnerve your ass. He can unconscious your ass. He can remove you from consciousness. That's what Tank can do. Which takes us up to 30 to 40. The Teofimo versus Taylor winner. Let's visit that. This is why it's perhaps not surprising that Dev is rumored to be re-upping with Top Rank. Because additionally, most of the elite 140-pounders have Top Rank ties and or affiliations. Thing is, Dev has no belts, no leverage, and even less punching power at 140. Let's put it out there. He's not beating Josh Taylor. He's not beating Josh Taylor, who figures to move up to 47 soon anyways. My dude, my bruh, Teofimo effing Lopez, I love him. He's erratic enough to lose to Devin Haney, especially lately, but I would still favor Fimo over that, over Dev. Others at 40, Regis Prograis, nah, he's too rugged for Dev. Jose Ramirez has good size, a phenomenal beard, he's physical, his skill level is underrated. I don't think I would pick Dev over him either. Rolly Romero has a belt now. Dev beats him if Ryan Garcia doesn't do it first. But even if Ryan did, hell, Dev versus King Rise an attractive fight at 40. Let's do it. But let's get back to these belts. Dev is undisputed, and I took the liberty of digging through who's who in the divisions, some of his mandatories, or mandatories, as my British boxing brethren calls it. So 4 belts, WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF. Loma was the #1 ranked challenger by the WBC. He was #3 by the WBA. He was #1 by the WBO and #3 by the IBF. So Dev has killed quite a few stones just by getting that verdict over Loma. Isaac Cruz, he's #2 WBC, #5 WBA, #5 WBO, #5 IBF. Shakur, #3 WBC, #4 WBA, #2 WBO, and #4 IBF. Then the other 2 prominent names that are on most lists, William Zepeda, Frank Martin. They're each on 3 or 4 of the lists. What's funny as hell is Gervonta Tank Davis' name is not on any of the 4 sanctioning bodies' rankings at all. The biggest moneymaker, the face of the lightweight division for sure, is not ranked by any of the sanctioning bodies. And all the while, every time Devin Haney defends his titles, his undisputed titles, he's coming off 3% of his purse per sanctioning bodies. Yes, boys and girls, that adds up to 12% of his overall purse for defending his belts. That's why a lot of dudes don't vie for undisputed, but I digress. So yeah, man, without taking the rankings, it shits on the whole premise of it, but whatever. The good news for Dev is he has a lot of options at his disposal. The bad news for Dev is he doesn't have many winning big fight options at his disposal. On one hand, fans won't salivate over Dev versus Pitbull Cruz or William Zepeda or Frank Martin at 35. Nor will they salivate over Jack Catterall, Arnold Barbosa, or Jose Zepeda at 40. But on the other hand, some of those are actually losable bouts for Dev. If you think about it, like real talk. He needs to be very strategic with whatever his next move ends up being. I truly believe what he's just done and will do in the next few months to a year from now will define the remainder of Devin Haney's career for better or worse. Or worse or worser, as Ali likes to say, or used to say. But yeah, man, Dev, hate to beat a dead horse. Straight up and down, no special effects. He's a good, talented, fundamentally sound fighter, but he's on borrowed time to me. He's not special, man. No wow factor. REED-BBS, BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Television, Fred Sanford of the Fistic Arts. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.